The transcript of Trump's call with the Ukrainian president has finally been released, as I'm sure you've heard. After all this buildup, the real one, the anonymous claim that, Trump offered a quid pro quo to the Ukrainian president in exchange for dirt on Biden, or that he threatened to withhold aid or whatever else. The Democrats even beginning impeachment proceedings beforehand, just based on the anonymous reports. After all of that, the transcript comes out, and it's just a total nothing, actually. It is a big fat nothing. It actually makes Trump look good, if anything. If anything, I think it makes him look good. Because what it documents is a friendly, cordial call between two world leaders. And I think I'm a pretty good barometer on this one because, look, if you're a Trump sycophant, if you're a Trump groupie, then it really didn't matter what the transcript said. You were going to be honest. In fact, the transcript could have been the one that I made up, and you would still say, it's fine, whatever. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you are a deranged Trump hater, then it didn't matter what the transcript said. You were still going to say, this is damning, let's impeach him. As you know, I'm neither of those things. I wouldn't call myself a Trump fan. I wouldn't call myself a fan of any politician. I'm also not a deranged leftist. Even if I am deranged, I'm not a leftist at least. And so I have no problem criticizing Trump at all. I do it all the time. No problem with it. If this transcript really did appear to be clearly wrong, illegal, inappropriate, whatever, I would say so. I have no problem saying so. I didn't really go into this rooting one way or another. I didn't really, whatever. The transcript says what it says. But I read it and I say, it's really nothing. And I think that's what most people are going to say. All he does in the call is ask the president of Ukraine to look into illegal activity, some of which, yes, involves Joe Biden. But okay, then isn't that Joe Biden's fault for allegedly doing the illegal things that involve Ukraine? Which is why Ukraine's being asked to get involved in it or to investigate it. There isn't a part in the call where Trump says, okay, do this for us and we'll do this for you. Or do this for us, and if you don't, we're going to have this or that consequence. That doesn't happen in the call. So it's incredible that the Democrats, it's incredible what they're doing. They're going to get this guy reelected. They're really going to do it. He should be, and I know if you're a big fan, you're not going to like this. You'll try not to agree with it, but it is true that he should be really easy to beat because he leaves open so many legitimate lines of attack. There are so many things about him and about the way he governs and conducts himself that a person could reasonably criticize. And if you're an opponent of Trump and you point those things out, a lot of people, most people are going to agree with you. They're going to say, yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of the Twitter stuff is an example. We've talked about this before. If you're a big Trump fan, you love the Twitter, fine. Most people don't. And so when the Democrats point out, this guy's unhinged on Twitter, he runs his mouth constantly. I mean, what is he? Does he do anything but tweet? He should be governing, not tweeting. That, whether you like those lines of attack or not as a big Trump fan, doesn't matter. Most people agree with that. And so that's an effective line of attack. It's not the most important thing in the world, but it's effective. Because most people agree, most people don't like it, it annoys most people. So they could stick with that kind of thing. Trying to paint Trump as a little bit unhinged, a little bit unbalanced, incompetent, doesn't have control over his own White House. They could do all that. They could even throw in the racist stuff. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't think he is racist. But I think those lines of attack, when played correctly and not overplayed, can be effective, even if they're not true. So the Democrats could stick with all of that and meanwhile mostly just stick with their normal campaign talking points. And they'd probably walk into a victory in 2020 without much trouble, but they can't help themselves. After 3 years, they still haven't figured him out. They still want to make him out to be some sort of criminal mastermind. He's not that. Okay, opponents of Hillary Clinton could go that. That's what Trump did with Clinton. And there was a lot of truth to it. And the Clintons really have been overseeing a criminal enterprise for decades now. I don't know if I call them masterminds, but you know, they were as close to that as you could get as a modern American politician could really get. So that worked with them because there was truth to it, and that's how the public sees them. And fine, that's not Trump. That's just not how he operates. That's not how people see him. It's not what he is. But they can't help themselves, and they're gonna get. It is really amazing. Hey, you right there. Hit the subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It's somewhat appreciated.